As climate risks rise, so does the need for housing that's both sustainable and disaster resilient. Bahay Foundation is doing just that, using cement bamboo frame technology. This system combines bamboo and concrete to create durable structures. With its partners, the foundation has already built homes and schools across the Philippines, including in Leyte and South Cotabato. It's time to put the spotlight on initiatives that move communities forward. Welcome to Sustainability. And joining us tonight is Paulo Ferrer, Director of Business and Strategic Development at Bahay Foundation. Welcome to the program, Paulo.
Thank you for having us. Good evening.
Yeah. First, give us a brief background on Bahay. How long has it been in the Philippines?
Well, Bahay started in 2014. We were initiated by the Healthy Foundation, and the goal was really to find a regenerative solution for housing and for the construction industry. So the reason we went to the Philippines is because this is fertile ground for research. You have a lot of regenerative materials. And sad to say, but we're also very high on the world risk index, which means we have a lot of natural disasters. So if you can figure out a housing solution that works here, it's going to work anywhere else in the world. Exactly.
Right. And well, I wanted to, I know Bahay has been on the show before, but you're doing something really exciting this March until October.
Yes.
Tell us about this competition. It's a worldwide competition.
It is.
Pala. Okay.
It's called the Bamboo Housing Challenge. We developed it together with Bamboo U of Bali, Indonesia. And we've been working with them for quite some time, since earlier than the pandemic, to figure out, how we get the word out for bamboo. And this competition was the result of a conversation that asked the question, we've been working with bamboo and we've been working within that network for so long. And how do we bring people outside of that bubble of bamboo, green materials, basically, to come in? So the competition invites architects, engineers, all these professionals who would otherwise be a little resistant to take a risk on design, and give them this opportunity to join a competition where their design could be built in Bali, Indonesia.
Wow.
They could be...
That's part of the prize.
That's part of the prize. So
okay. The winning design gets built.
The winning design gets built, and one of the team members, team of 3 is the maximum, could fly to Bali, Indonesia. Their accommodations and their flights will be paid for by the competition, and they will take part of an 11-day course where they build the actual design that they had submitted. So this is unique in the sense that in most competitions, you submit a design and it stays in paper.
Yes.
So this is a concept to construction contest, so you have a fruition of what you had envisioned for this.
And where in Bali will it be built? In the Bamboo U premises?
We have to finalize where that's going to be, but it will be together with the Bamboo U group.
So tell us the details so that, those who have friends who want to join or who actually want to join can do so.
Please, it's open to architects and engineers, professionals, and even students. So the question here is, if you're a student and you don't have a license, how do you, continue to design and develop your proposal? There will be a mentorship program with the Bahay Foundation. We will support these groups who enter their submission and help them develop their design.
Okay.
They can submit their registrations until March 15. And by April, they have to submit their design. And
they can do so online.
they can do so online. You
There's
can
a
go
fee?
to, there's a small fee, around $200. You'll find it there. But the return is much greater than that, because the value of the course of Bamboo U, the online course, is around $1,000. The value of the 11-day course that if you win, you get to enjoy and take part of that, is around $2,800. And of course, everything in between going there and
okay, so calling
taking
all
part will be
architects, engineers, and even students, kahit freshman sa college,
anyone,
pwede.
even someone who's just passionate about bamboo, this is the perfect opportunity for them to get involved with the stakeholders that they couldn't get to, you know. The high stakes players in bamboo who
Yeah.
would be out of reach normally, they're all part of this. So
How many, Paulo, how many target participants are you looking at, and how many have signed up so far?
we have 31 countries joining in, around 119 individuals.
Already, ah?
Already.
You just announced parang last month, no?
Just recently, yes.
Just
last month.
recently. So there's still time, March 15. No, walang extension.
Well, it remains to be seen.
For
But
now,
you
wala.
already have so much.
Exactly.
Why do you think there's so much interest all over the world?
We're starting to see, you know, the challenge of building now with conventional materials is there's sort of a circular problem. We want to build more houses, we want to develop more communities. We're using conventional material. And 40% of the carbon emissions of the
Yeah.
globe come from the construction industry.
One of the
So-
highest contributors to greenhouse gases.
Exactly. So as we develop more housing to solve the problems of people in disaster-prone areas, we're also contributing to the problem of climate and carbon emissions. So then it's that circular problem. But if we break that chain by that cycle by using a regenerative material, something that's just in our backyard, you know, and process it, low-tech processing. And when I say low-tech, this is something that's replicable. It can be done up in the mountains, in the provinces, where, and all of the high-tech stuff happens in the lab, where Base Bahay works. That can be then a solution to using green material for construction.
Although we're seeing the videos that
Yeah.
you've sent us, it looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what you're doing is replacing some of the usual steel materials with bamboo, mixing it with concrete. So the
Correct.
beams in this house are bamboo, you fill it with concrete.
Correct.
In terms of cost, which is unfortunately what a lot of people look at, even if they're not into sustainability, they might be into like a price shave. How much cheaper is it to build it your way?
If you're building it in the same design as concrete, you're saving at least 30% because you're using local material, you're using less rebar and less cement, and the overall structure is lighter. So just on your foundation, you're using less material.
And
Which-
for the ones that want to join your competition, are they limited to using this technology or anything goes basta bamboo?
Well, the criteria is that the use of bamboo has to be prominent in that design for this competition. It has to be replicable. It has to be affordable. So the parameter is you have an 80 square meter lot and a $10,000 budget.
Pang socialized housing.
Exactly. You want to help us solve the problem of a replicable, designing a replicable and affordable and disaster resilient home. And that's really the goal that we have to achieve. And it has to be something that you can scale up, nothing too fancy or difficult to replicate, something that you can bring to a different continent and it's going to work.
This design that we were showing on the screen is also fast to
Yes.
build. I mean, parang are they prefab or how does it work?
The system is called cement bamboo frame technology. And obviously there's cement and bamboo in that. But the frames, when they're delivered, the panels, when they're delivered, they come as one entire panel. So when it comes to
So isang wall na yun.
isang wall na siya, you have a
Salpak na
wall panel, a door panel, a window panel, and when you get to the site, you don't have to figure out so many complicated things. It's like building Lego blocks.
So pre-cut na siya.
Pre-cut na siya. So that sort of demystifies the challenge of building with bamboo. Because people think there's a lot of variables and you have to be selective. All of the prefab manufacturing happens at the construction site, the prefabrication site. When the panels come to the construction site, it's much simpler, everything is standardized, and in fact, the employees of Base Bahay have built these houses as well with their own hands.
What
Wow.
about
So-
pests? I know
Yun na
this
nga
is
eh.
one
Let's-
concern.
Right.
Yun na nga eh, let's demystify
Let's
din
Right.
yung bamboo na hindi siya
Exactly.
matibay, after 1 year, bulok na.
Yes.
Kakabukbok, yung mga ganon.
There's a treatment process that we developed that addresses these concerns. Yung anay, bukbok, yung mga fungal infections, these are all addressed by the treatment process. Basically, what we want to do is take out the starch and treat the cellulose of the bamboo so that it's no longer attractive to bokbok or anay. And once you've done that, you've solved the problem of any organic attacks on bamboo. The poles itself, if you don't leave them out in water or in the sun, would last, at least on paper, 50 years minimum.
So no sun exposure, no rain, no exposure to the elements dapat.
Yes. They don't react well with UV light that is corrosive and damages the bamboo. But if you put them in walls and clad them with cement, then you have structures that will last for who knows how long. In fact, in Colombia and in the Philippines as well, we've had instances where we noticed there are some old structures in bamboo, normally churches, that have these mud cladding that comes off, tabique pampango. And these are vernacular approaches to building with bamboo. But if you're using cement, you're expecting this to last even much longer.
So imagine, this is like an ancient practice that you
Exactly.
just like modernized and
Yes.
updated.
Yes.
Because even in the Philippines, during the Spanish time, I understand some bahay na bato have bamboo.
Elements of bamboo.
Yeah, inside, within.
Exactly.
Within the walls.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're not creating a new product. We're using something that nature gave us. We're refining it and understanding it for it to be engineered. And when I say engineered, we're using an engineering approach, but not highly processing the bamboo. If you saw in the videos, they're mostly still in its round form.
You know, Sean, I visited their lab, and what's fascinating is they subject the bamboo to all the stress tests,
Yes.
so that it's not just a matter of they can claim, they can make all these claims because it's proven, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Basically, pasok siya sa building code, sa mga codes and
okay.
standards.
Two elements to that. We couldn't build anything if we didn't have what we have is the ITEC accreditation. It's issued by the National Housing Authority. So it certifies that it's safe, it's more affordable, and it's disaster resilient, the technology. And all of this is for us to make strides towards bringing this bamboo solution to the building code. At present, there are a few countries in the world that have bamboo in the building code. The Philippines isn't one of them.
Okay. Next
We're-
question. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're working with the Association of Structural Engineers of the Philippines, and we've developed the guideline. Now, the next part of this plan to bring it to the structural code is to find champions in the government who will help us lobby for it.
Okay. And are these limited to just houses? And this also goes for your competition. Are the designs limited to just house designs, or can it be like anything?
For the competition, it's
Yeah.
housing.
Housing,
But
okay.
for the application in the real world, it can be used for anything. Anything that you can design in conventional material, but for the limit, the asterisk I put here is that it has to be within a 2-story limit.
While we have still some time, I know you wanted to discuss this project you were working with the engineering brigade of the AFP in South Cotabato.
Yes, in Polomolo.
Yeah, tell us about it. Ito naman ay classrooms.
Classrooms. It's
Sana nakikinig ang DepEd.
I hope we get to
Timely to.
them.
Yeah.
It's a 2.8 million peso classroom. So it's very affordable, and it can be built within 4 months. This classroom is around 210 square meters in a floor area.
That's what we're seeing now? That's the classroom?
Yes.
Ang ganda!
That one
ganda.
was built in Southern Leyte, together with a group called All Hands and Hearts. But we
Wow.
recently completed
Maeengganyo
one.
ako mag-aral kung iyan ang classroom ko. And 2.8 million, how does that compare to the prices that DepEd or DPWH builds?
From what we know, this is at least half of what one classroom. Yes, because you could normally
Aging
do
Vince Dison also.
And
you could normally do
Secretary Angara.
one classroom for 2.8 million with conventional material, but this is 2.
Two. And so beautiful.
It feels very connected to nature when you're inside, and it feels a lot cooler because
Yeah,
all of
that's
the
what I was
bamboo
gonna-
elements.
I was gonna ask, does this mean it's actually cooler in there
It is.
versus like a typical Yero roof?
Against Yero, definitely.
Yeah.
But even against yung cement walls, you feel much
Yeah.
cooler because the walls don't absorb the heat throughout the afternoon. So towards the late afternoon, there's also much less dissipation of heat within the structure itself.
And it really looks Filipino,
It does.
diba?
It brings
Instead
us back
of some
to our
cement
roots.
structure lang.
Exactly. Brings us back to our roots, and it's very conducive because of the soft environment you have
Yeah,
inside.
yeah.
One question though,
Okay.
I think
Oo.
that people watching this video might have is that, paano kaya to pag may dumating na bagyo? Magstay ba yung bubong or liliparin din ba yan?
We do all of our tests in our Base Innovation Center in Makati, where like I said earlier, all the high-tech stuff happens. We have all this equipment that tests bamboo as an individual material. We assess the mechanical properties. And the entire system, the entire wall is also tested to see and make sure that it holds up against Category 5 typhoons, against earthquakes. And of the 1,800 houses we've built in the Philippines, we have never had a failure in any of these structures.
Of the 1,800.
Correct.
Wow, and you've been here since 2014, diba? The very
Exactly.
first house you built was in Bicol, diba?
In Gunabatan, where it was built in 2013, and by 2014, Typhoon Glenda came in. And we were expecting nothing less than for everything to stay intact.
Oh,
So
really?
after 12 years now, the houses are still intact, people are living in them, and Gunabatan is where typhoons come through.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
been
right
at-
by the
it's
Pacific
been-
Ocean.
Bicol
Yeah.
is the most typhoon hit
Exactly.
region.
And we've never had a failure because we have to make sure that none of these structures ever fail. Otherwise, that spells a bad story for bamboo.
Right. This partnership with Bamboo U of Bali is great with Base Bahay. How would Bali has been at the forefront in advocating bamboo. Are we catching up?
Bali is building with bamboo very creatively. They have all these
Yeah,
very
ganda
beautiful
naman.
structures, and they're very
Beautiful
Instagrammable.
and durable.
Beautiful. What we are trying to help Indonesia do is bring it to the level of what we have in the Philippines. And this is what
Which
we're
is
proud
more
about.
durability.
Which is more engineered.
More
So the
engineered.
Philippines in its own right is very advanced in terms of bamboo, understanding bamboo and bamboo research because we are the global competence center for bamboo.
Yeah, we've attracted
We've become
people
very
from
prominent.
all over the world.
Exactly.
It's great.
Even
It's
just on
it's
this
a
segment.
secret pa. Not too many people know about this.
Yeah.
We should
Just on
spread
this
the word.
segment alone, how many bamboo-related, foreign
Here.
businesses have set up shop here? There's been quite a
Of
lot.
Rhizome,
Right.
for instance,
Exactly.
diba?
Rhizome is also working with us. We're supporting them in testing. They're doing laminated bamboo. We're doing round poles. And anyone who's within the bamboo industry, we're happy to work with them because anything that brings bamboo to the mainstream market is something that will help change the perception.
So if someone's watching right now and they don't necessarily, or they're not ready to join the competition, but they do want to learn more, is there a way to get in touch with you guys?
There is. On our website, we have all these publications that are public. They can download them and they can get in touch with us to join our CPDs. These are courses that we have for professionals who need to renew their license, and we have them almost every quarter. So, there's always a lot of educational avenues for us to reach out to the public, and they just have to contact us.
Great. We can go on and on and on about bamboo, but we've run out of time. Thank you so much, Paulo.
Thank you very much.
And we do hope more join this competition. It's exciting to see the entries. So, once again, that was Paulo Ferrer of Base Bahay Foundation.